Hey, come a little closer tonight and just breathe with me for a moment. Slowly, gently, there you go. You don't need to carry the whole world right now. You don't need to solve tomorrow tonight. The pressure can wait until morning. Right now, this moment is only about rest. Quiet rest. The kind your soul has been searching for all day long without even realizing it. Because honestly, you've been carrying so much lately. Your mind barely stops anymore. Even when the room becomes quiet, your thoughts keep moving. One worry turns into another. One memory opens the door to 10 more thoughts. You replay conversations. You wonder if you disappointed someone. You think about the future until your chest feels heavy for no reason at all. And sometimes, it becomes exhausting pretending you're okay when deep down your heart feels tired all the time. But tonight feels softer somehow. Different. Like heaven itself slowed everything down just so your soul could finally breathe again. Outside, the world is becoming quiet now. Roads empty. Lights fading one by one in distant homes. The sky stretching endlessly above the sleeping city while cool night air settles gently against the windows. And for the first time today, nobody needs anything from you. No expectations. No pressure. No noise pulling at your mind. Just stillness. Pure stillness. And Jesus is here with you in it. Quietly. Calmly. Not rushing you. Not judging you for feeling overwhelmed again. He already knows how exhausted your thoughts have become lately. He sees the anxiety you hide from people. He sees the nights where your body feels tired but your mind refuses to rest. And even knowing all of that, he stays close anyway. That's the beautiful thing about his presence. He doesn't wait for you to have perfect faith before giving you peace. He enters the middle of your overthinking, the middle of your fears, the middle of your exhaustion, and slowly, he begins calming the storm inside you. So tonight, you don't have to force yourself to feel strong anymore. You don't have to pretend you have all the answers. The future can remain uncertain for now. Healing can happen slowly. Your heart is allowed to rest before everything gets figured out. And while the darkness peacefully settles around your room tonight, your body begins relaxing too. Your shoulders loosen little by little. The tension in your jaw slowly fades away. Even your breathing starts becoming deeper without you noticing. It almost feels like peace itself is wrapping gently around your tired soul, whispering, "You made it through today. You can rest now." And maybe that's exactly what your heart needed to hear tonight. The quiet keeps growing deeper around you now, softer somehow. Like the whole night is holding space for your tired mind to finally slow down. Maybe you can hear a fan humming softly in the background, or distant rain tapping gently against a rooftop somewhere far away, or wind moving slowly through trees beneath the dark sky outside. Every sound feels calm tonight. Nothing rushed, nothing loud. Just peaceful stillness surrounding you while your thoughts slowly begin loosening their grip on the day behind you. And honestly, your mind has been carrying too much for too long. More than people realize. You've been thinking about everything constantly lately. Trying to prepare for situations that haven't even happened yet. Trying to mentally solve tomorrow before tomorrow even arrives. Some nights your thoughts become so loud that resting almost feels impossible. Your eyes close, but your heart stays awake. Your body lies still, but your mind keeps running in circles searching for answers it cannot find. But tonight, Jesus sits beside you in the silence while all of that noise slowly fades into the background. There's no disappointment in his presence tonight. No frustration because you became tired again. He already knew this season would feel heavy for you. He already understood there would be nights where fear felt stronger than your faith. Yet he stayed anyway. through every anxious thought, every hidden tear, every moment you smiled during the day while secretly feeling overwhelmed inside. That realization begins softening something deep in your chest now. You no longer feel like you must carry every burden by yourself before morning comes. You no longer feel responsible for fixing your whole future tonight. Right now, your only job is to rest here, to breathe slowly, to let God hold the things your heart became too tired to carry alone. Outside, the sky remains dark and peaceful above sleeping homes and empty streets washed gently in moonlight. The world feels slower now, safer somehow. And here beneath the warmth of your blankets, your eyelids begin growing heavier little by little. Your heartbeat feels calmer than before. Even the fear inside your chest no longer feels as loud as it did earlier tonight, because peace is finally becoming stronger than the pressure. And maybe this is what your soul truly needed all along. Not more noise, not more overthinking, not more pressure to stay strong every second of the day. Maybe you simply needed a quiet place where your heart could stop fighting for a while. A place where grace feels bigger than anxiety. A place where Jesus gently reminds you, you are safe here. Safe to let go. Safe to rest. Safe to stop carrying tomorrow before tomorrow even begins. And while the night continues deepening peacefully around you now, sleep slowly starts moving closer like soft waves reaching the shore beneath moonlight. The deeper the night becomes, the more your body starts sinking into comfort and stillness. Everything around you feels slower now, softer, almost dreamlike. The shadows resting quietly in the room, the cool midnight air touching the windows, the peaceful silence stretching through the darkness outside. Somewhere far away the world is still moving with all its pressure and noise and endless demands, but none of that can reach you here tonight. Tonight feels protected somehow, calm, like stepping away from the chaos for the first time in a very long while. And maybe your soul desperately needed this pause more than you realized, because lately life has felt heavy in ways you cannot always explain. Even during quiet moments, your thoughts keep searching for problems. Your mind keeps replaying memories and conversations long after everyone else has forgotten them. Sometimes you become so emotionally exhausted from overthinking that you don't even notice how tired your spirit really is anymore. But Jesus notices. He notices every silent battle happening inside your heart tonight. He notices the emotional weight hiding behind your smile. The moments where you stayed strong for everyone else while secretly feeling drained inside. And he never looks at your exhaustion with judgment. He looks at you with gentleness, with compassion, like someone sitting beside a tired soul saying, "You don't have to carry this alone anymore." That kind of love changes something inside a person. Slowly, fear begins losing its grip. The stress that once felt unbearable starts melting into the quietness surrounding you now. Your breathing becomes deeper, slower. The muscles throughout your body continue relaxing one by one, while warmth spreads softly through your chest, replacing the tension you carried earlier. Outside, clouds drift slowly across the dark sky, while moonlight stretches peacefully over rooftops and sleeping streets below. The entire world feels wrapped in stillness tonight. And somewhere within this peaceful moment, Jesus gently reminds your heart that you were never abandoned in your hardest seasons. Even when anxiety kept you awake at night, he stayed. Even when your prayers felt weak and uncertain, he stayed. Even during moments where your faith felt smaller than your fear, he stayed close beside you through every difficult hour. That truth settles warmly into your spirit now. You are not fighting alone. You never truly were. The future may still feel unclear sometimes, but tonight you do not need every answer before finding peace. God is already standing inside the days ahead of you. He is already present in the places your mind keeps worrying about. And somehow, knowing that begins calming the endless pressure inside your chest. The room grows quieter now. Your thoughts feel softer and farther apart. Sleep slowly approaches your tired body, while the calm presence of Jesus surrounds you like gentle light in the darkness. And for the first time in a long while, your soul finally begins believing that maybe everything does not need to be figured out tonight in order for peace to exist right here, right now. Little by little, your mind begins loosening its grip on the day behind you. The conversations that kept replaying earlier no longer feel as heavy now. The pressure sitting tightly in your chest slowly fades into the background, while the peaceful atmosphere around you grows warmer and softer with every passing minute. Maybe nights like this remind the soul that not everything has to be carried forever. Some burdens were never yours to hold alone. Some fears were always meant to be placed gently into God's hands before sleep arrived. And tonight, that is exactly what is happening. You are finally setting things down. Not because every problem disappeared overnight, but because your heart is slowly realizing it no longer needs to stay in survival mode every second of the day. The warmth beneath your blankets feels comforting against your skin while your breathing continues slowing naturally. Inhale softly. Exhale slowly. There's no rush here tonight. No pressure to force sleep. Rest is arriving gently on its own now. Jesus remains beside you in the stillness, quieter than the night itself, yet closer than every anxious thought that tried to overwhelm you earlier. His presence feels steady tonight, safe, familiar somehow, like finally coming home after carrying emotional exhaustion for far too long. Outside, stars remain hidden behind drifting clouds while cool winds move softly through distant trees beneath the sleeping sky. Somewhere rain may still be falling quietly against rooftops. Somewhere waves may be touching silent shores beneath moonlight. And here in your room, everything feels wrapped inside sacred stillness. The kind of stillness that allows your soul to finally breathe again after carrying tension for too long. Your thoughts drift more slowly now. They no longer race the way they did earlier tonight. Fear loses its voice when peace becomes stronger, and the peace of God moves differently than anything this world tries to offer. It doesn't rush into your life, loudly demanding attention. It arrives gently, quietly, like soft light entering a dark room before dawn begins. It reaches places inside your heart nobody else can fully heal. Tonight, maybe Jesus is reminding you that you were never meant to understand every chapter of your life all at once. Some things take time. Some healing happens slowly. Some prayers unfold quietly during nights exactly like this one, where your soul finally becomes still enough to hear peace again. Your eyelids feel heavier now. Your body feels warm and deeply relaxed beneath the calm silence surrounding you. Even your heartbeat seems softer than before. And while sleep slowly moves closer with every passing moment, one final truth settles gently over your weary spirit tonight. You are deeply loved by God even in your most exhausted moments. Not because you performed perfectly today, not because you never struggled, but simply because His love for you has never depended on perfection. And while the peaceful night carries you gently toward rest, Jesus continues watching over you with endless gentleness, allowing your mind, your body, and your soul to finally become still. The night feels even quieter now, almost sacred in its stillness. Time itself seems slower in these late hours, moving gently through the darkness while the whole world rests beneath heaven's peaceful watch. The room around you feels safe now, warm, calm, untouched by the chaos that filled the earlier parts of the day. Your breathing remains slow and steady while your body sinks deeper into the comfort beneath you. And maybe for the first time in a long while, your mind no longer feels trapped inside the same storm it carried earlier tonight. Thoughts still come and go sometimes, but they drift more softly now. They no longer pull you into panic the way they once did. You no longer feel responsible for fixing your whole future before morning arrives. Instead, your soul is finally beginning to rest in the simple truth that God is already holding tomorrow in his hands. There is something deeply comforting about that tonight. Knowing you can close your eyes without carrying the whole world on your shoulders anymore. Knowing Jesus remains awake even while you rest. Your chest feels lighter now as this peace settles deeper inside you. Inhale slowly, exhale gently. There you go. The tension that lived quietly inside your heart for so long continues fading little by little. Earlier tonight, your mind may have felt crowded with fears you could not silence, questions without answers, situations beyond your control, memories that returned the moment everything became quiet. But now those thoughts seem farther away somehow, almost dissolving into the background, while the calm presence of God grows stronger around you. And maybe this is what your soul truly needed all along. Not more advice, not more pressure to stay strong, not more exhausting overthinking. Maybe you simply needed a quiet place where your heart could finally stop fighting for a while. Jesus understands the exhaustion that comes from constantly carrying invisible battles inside your mind every single day. He understands how draining it feels trying to hold yourself together when your thoughts never truly rest. And tonight, instead of asking you to keep struggling through it alone, he gently invites you to lay everything down beside him. No pretending, no pressure, just peace. Just stillness, just the soft reminder that you are safe here. Outside, clouds continue drifting across the dark sky, while moonlight quietly touches rooftops and empty streets below. The entire world feels slower now, almost asleep beneath heaven's gentle care. And here in this room, warmth surrounds you like a quiet shelter protecting you from every fear that once felt too heavy to escape. Your eyes grow heavier with every passing moment. Your thoughts become quieter, softer, less urgent. Sleep slowly approaches your tired body while God's presence remains close beside you, steady and faithful through the silence. And for the first time in a very long while, your soul begins believing that maybe, just maybe, everything does not need to be figured out tonight in order for peace to exist right here, right now. Somewhere deep within you, something continues softening as the night stretches peacefully onward. It feels subtle at first, almost impossible to explain. But little by little, the emotional weight you carried into this evening no longer feels as sharp as it once did. Earlier, your thoughts may have been racing so quickly that rest seemed impossible. One fear leading into another. One worry opening the door to 10 more worries. Your mind trying endlessly to prepare for every possible outcome, as if anxiety could somehow protect you from pain. But now, wrapped inside this quiet moment with Jesus, your heart slowly begins remembering something important. Peace does not come from controlling everything. Peace comes from finally allowing yourself to let go. The room around you feels warm and still now. The darkness no longer feels empty. Instead, It feels comforting in a strange and beautiful way, almost like being held inside a calm embrace while the rest of the world sleeps. Maybe you can hear wind brushing softly through distant trees outside, or the faint silence of midnight stretching peacefully across the earth. Every small detail of this night feels designed to help your weary spirit slow down. Your body continues relaxing deeper into the bed beneath you. Your shoulders feel lighter. Your jaw loosens. Even the muscles in your hands release the tension they carried all day long. And while your body rests, your soul begins resting too. Jesus remains near in the quietness, patient as always. He never rushes healing. He never demands instant perfection from exhausted hearts. Instead, he sits beside your weakness with gentleness, allowing peace to arrive slowly and naturally. He knows how many nights you spent silently carrying burdens nobody else fully understood. He knows the pressure you place on yourself, the way you replay conversations long after everyone else has forgotten them, the hidden loneliness that sometimes appears in the middle of the night when distractions disappear and your thoughts become louder than the world around you. Yet even there, especially there, his love remains steady, constant, unshaken. Tonight, you are not being judged for feeling overwhelmed. You are being comforted through it. The old psalms echo softly through your spirit now, like distant whispers floating gently through the darkness. The Lord is my shepherd. I will not fear. He restores my soul. Those words settle slowly into the deepest places inside you that have felt restless for far too long. Outside, clouds continue drifting silently beneath the moonlit sky, while the peaceful hours of night move softly across the sleeping earth. Somewhere another tired soul is also searching for peace tonight. And somehow beneath this same sky, God watches over every weary heart with endless compassion, including yours, especially yours. Your eyelids grow heavier now, while sleep gently pulls closer. The worries of earlier no longer feel powerful enough to keep you awake. The future can wait until tomorrow. The unanswered questions can remain unanswered tonight. Right now, your only task is to rest here in the calm presence of a Savior who has never once abandoned you, even during the darkest seasons of your life. The room feels even softer now, quieter than before, almost like the night itself is carefully carrying your tired heart toward rest one gentle breath at a time. Your body feels warm beneath the blankets while peaceful stillness settles deeply through every exhausted part of you. The pressure you carried earlier tonight continues fading farther into the background. Thoughts that once felt loud and overwhelming now drift quietly through your mind without holding the same power over you anymore. And honestly, maybe your soul has needed this kind of peace for longer than you realized. Life has been heavy lately, even when nobody else noticed it. You've carried silent stress into your mornings, your afternoons, your nights. You've smiled through exhaustion, stayed strong through uncertainty, kept moving forward even when your heart secretly felt tired all the time. But Jesus saw every hidden moment, every anxious thought, every night you lay awake overthinking things you could not control. And through all of it, he never left your side. Tonight, his presence surrounds you more clearly now than the fears that once filled your chest. It feels calm here, safe, like resting beneath gentle light after wandering through emotional darkness for too long. Outside, the world remains asleep beneath the stars while cool midnight air brushes softly against the windows. Somewhere far away, tiny lights still glow in distant homes where other weary hearts are also searching for peace before morning comes. Maybe some of them are carrying fears similar to yours tonight. Maybe they too are lying awake wondering if life will ever feel lighter again. But beneath this same sky, God watches over every tired soul with endless gentleness, including you. That realization brings quiet comfort into your spirit now. You are not invisible to heaven. Your struggles have never gone unnoticed. Jesus has seen every hidden tear, every restless night, every moment where you silently carried more than you could handle. And through all of it, his love never became smaller toward you, even when your faith felt weak beneath the pressure of life. He stayed close, even when anxiety convinced you peace would never return. He stayed close. Tonight, his presence feels steady beside you, like warm light glowing softly in the darkness. Your breathing remains slow now, deeply relaxed. Sleep moves closer with every passing moment while your thoughts continue losing their sharp edges. Earlier fears no longer seem urgent enough to steal your peace. Instead, your heart begins settling fully into the quiet realization that God is already present inside every tomorrow your mind keeps worrying about tonight. He is already there in the future, already making a way through uncertainty, already holding together the things your anxious thoughts keep trying to control. And because of that, you no longer need to carry tomorrow while lying here in the dark. You can finally rest instead. Fully rest. Your body sinks deeper into stillness now, while the peaceful silence around you grows softer and heavier like warm blankets surrounding your spirit. Sleep is very close now. Your thoughts drift slower and farther apart with every passing breath. And while darkness quietly covers the sleeping earth outside, Jesus continues watching over you with faithful love, allowing every anxious part of your heart to finally become still beneath the safety of his presence tonight. Now the night feels incredibly calm, the kind of calm that only arrives long after midnight when the whole world finally becomes quiet enough for weary hearts to hear peace again. Everything around you feels softer now. The darkness in the room no longer carries heaviness. Instead, it feels gentle and comforting, almost like standing beneath a quiet sky, filled with unseen stars, while heaven watches carefully over your life. Your breathing remains slow and effortless. Sleep moves closer with every passing minute, wrapping itself carefully around your tired body while your thoughts continue, fading into peaceful silence. Earlier tonight, your mind may have felt impossible to quiet. Worries kept returning one after another. Thoughts about the future, thoughts about mistakes, thoughts about people you miss, conversations you regret, situations you cannot control. Sometimes the human heart becomes so overwhelmed trying to carry everything at once that it forgets how to rest. But tonight, something changed. Not because every problem suddenly disappeared, but because the presence of Jesus slowly reminded your spirit that you were never meant to carry these burdens by yourself. That realization has been unfolding gently inside you throughout this peaceful night. And now, lying here beneath the stillness surrounding you, your soul finally begins accepting what grace has been whispering all along. You can let go for tonight. You can stop fighting every invisible battle for a few hours. You can rest beneath God's care while heaven continues holding together the parts of life you cannot control. The peace filling this room feels deep now, real, steady, like warm light glowing softly during the darkest hour before dawn arrives. Your body feels completely relaxed beneath the blankets while cool air beyond the windows carries the peaceful silence of the sleeping world outside. Somewhere far away, morning is slowly preparing to arrive, but there is no rush toward tomorrow yet. Right now, this moment remains beautifully still. Jesus stays near in the quietness, faithful as always, watching over you with gentle love that never grows tired. He knows your fears. He knows your exhaustion. He knows the hidden places inside your heart that still need healing. And still, he remains beside you with endless patience. That kind of love calms the soul in ways nothing else can. Your thoughts become fewer now, softer. Sleep begins pulling you deeper into rest while peace settles fully across your spirit like calm waters beneath moonlight. And before this night carries you completely into sleep, one final truth quietly wraps itself around your weary heart. You are safe in the hands of God tonight. Safe from the pressure, safe from the noise, safe from the fear that once tried to steal your peace. The future remains in his hands. Your life remains in his hands. And while the earth rests beneath the silence of heaven, your tired soul finally surrenders fully into the comfort of his presence, allowing deep, peaceful sleep to gently carry you into the quiet embrace of the night. The peaceful silence of the night continues surrounding you now, deeper and gentler than before. It almost feels like time itself has slowed down completely, giving your heart permission to finally stop running for a while. The room remains still beneath the soft darkness while your body rests heavily against the comfort beneath you. Your breathing stays calm and steady now, rising and falling so naturally that even your thoughts have started following the same quiet rhythm. Earlier tonight, your mind felt crowded with worries that refused to leave you alone. But now those thoughts seem distant somehow, as if they no longer carry the same power over your spirit. They drift quietly through the background without pulling you into fear the way they once did. And maybe that's because your soul is finally beginning to trust the peace Jesus has been placing gently around you all night long. Outside, the sky stretches endlessly above sleeping homes and empty streets washed in soft moonlight. Somewhere beyond the clouds, the stars continue shining faithfully even though your eyes cannot see them. There's something comforting about that tonight, knowing some things remain beautiful and steady even when hidden from view. And maybe God's presence works the same way in our lives sometimes. Even during seasons where peace feels far away, even during moments where prayers seem unanswered, he remains close beside us in ways we cannot always immediately see. Tonight, that quiet truth settles deeply into your spirit. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are not carrying life by yourself no matter how heavy things have felt lately. Jesus has remained near through every restless night, every anxious thought, every silent moment where exhaustion quietly filled your chest. And right now, while the world rests beneath heaven's watch, his peace continues covering you like gentle warmth in the middle of darkness. The pressure to understand everything has finally begun fading away. You no longer feel the need to mentally solve tomorrow before sleep comes. The future can unfold slowly. Healing can happen one step at a time. Tonight is simply about resting, about breathing, about allowing your tired soul to exist safely inside the calm presence of God without needing to prove anything at all. Your eyelids feel heavier now while sleep quietly waits nearby, patient and soft. The room feels warmer than before, filled with a stillness so peaceful it almost feels sacred. Even your heartbeat seems quieter now, slower, calmer. And somewhere deep within your spirit, a gentle realization begins forming tonight. Maybe peace was never about having a perfect life. Maybe peace has always been about knowing you are held safely by God, even while life remains uncertain. That realization softens the last remaining tension inside your chest, while the night continues carrying you carefully toward rest. Nothing is demanding your attention anymore. Nothing needs to be fixed right now. The darkness no longer feels overwhelming. Instead, it feels peaceful in a way your soul desperately needed tonight. And while the quiet hours continue moving softly toward dawn, Jesus remains faithfully beside you, allowing every anxious thought to slowly loosen its grip until all that remains is calm stillness and the comforting feeling of finally being able to let go. Somewhere between wakefulness and sleep, your heart begins feeling lighter than it has in a very long time. Not because every burden disappeared overnight, but because you are no longer carrying those burdens alone anymore. The difference feels small at first, subtle, almost impossible to explain. Yet the deeper this peaceful night becomes, the more clearly your soul begins understanding it. Jesus has been sitting quietly beside your exhaustion all along, waiting patiently for you to stop fighting hard enough to finally receive rest. And now, in the middle of this silent night, your spirit slowly opens itself to that rest little by little. The cool darkness surrounding the room feels comforting now rather than lonely. Shadows rest softly against the walls while the quiet hum of the night creates a peaceful rhythm around you. Outside, trees sway gently beneath the sleeping sky, while distant winds move through empty streets touched by pale moonlight. The entire world feels calm in these late hours, as though creation itself has settled into stillness. And here beneath your blankets, your tired body continues relaxing deeper into that same peace. Your hands feel loose and warm now. Your shoulders no longer carry the tension sitting there earlier tonight. Even your thoughts move more slowly now, softer than before, like waves finally settling after a storm has passed. There is no rush anymore. No pressure to keep mentally running through every possible fear. Tonight, you are finally allowing yourself to breathe again. Jesus understands how exhausting it becomes when your mind never truly rests. He understands the silent pressure you place on yourself every day, the constant worrying, the endless overthinking, the way your heart sometimes feels responsible for holding together every uncertain part of life. But he never asked you to carry all of that alone. Tonight, his presence gently reminds you that some things are safer in God's hands than in your anxious thoughts. Some fears lose their power the moment you stop gripping them so tightly. And some healing only begins when a tired soul finally becomes still enough to receive peace again. The old psalms continue echoing softly through your spirit now, like distant whispers floating through the darkness. He gives his beloved sleep. Those words feel different tonight, more personal somehow, as though heaven itself is speaking gently over your exhausted mind. You have fought hard enough today. You have carried enough for one night. Rest now. Let your breathing slow naturally. Let your thoughts soften into silence. Let God watch over the things you cannot control while you sleep safely beneath his care. The room around you grows even quieter now. Time feels softer somehow. Sleep begins pulling gently at your eyelids while warmth settles deeply into your chest. And somewhere inside this peaceful stillness, your soul begins, realizing it no longer needs to stay afraid all the time. You are allowed to feel safe tonight, allowed to feel calm, allowed to stop carrying tomorrow before tomorrow even arrives. Jesus remains near while the night gently carries you closer toward deep, peaceful rest. And for the first time in a long while, your spirit no longer feels trapped inside endless noise. Instead, everything inside you slowly settles into quiet peace beneath the faithful presence of God. The hours continue passing softly through the darkness while your body drifts deeper into comfort and stillness. The night feels incredibly peaceful now, almost untouched by the worries that filled your mind earlier this evening. It's strange how different life can feel when the noise finally fades away. During the day, everything moves so quickly. Responsibilities pull at your attention. Expectations weigh heavily on your shoulders. Conversations, decisions, fears about the future, they all pile together until your soul hardly has room to breathe. But here, in the middle of this quiet night, none of those things feel close anymore. They remain somewhere far away beyond the peaceful silence surrounding you now. And for this moment, your only task is simply to rest. The cool midnight air brushes softly against the windows while darkness stretches peacefully across the sleeping world outside. Somewhere far away, tiny lights still glow inside distant homes where other weary hearts are also trying to find peace before morning arrives. Maybe some of them are carrying fears similar to yours tonight. Maybe they too are lying awake wondering if life will ever become easier. But beneath this same sky, God watches over every tired soul with endless gentleness, including you, especially you. That thought brings quiet comfort into your chest now. You are not invisible to heaven. Your struggles have never gone unnoticed. Jesus has seen every hidden tear, every anxious night, every moment you silently carried more than you could handle. And through all of it, his love never became smaller toward you. His patience never ran out. Even when you felt emotionally exhausted, he stayed close. Even when your faith felt weak beneath the pressure of life, he stayed close. Tonight, his presence feels calm and steady beside you, like warm light glowing softly in the darkness. Your breathing remains slow now, deeply relaxed. Sleep moves closer with every passing minute while your thoughts continue losing their sharp edges. Earlier fears no longer seem as powerful. Earlier worries no longer feel urgent enough to steal your peace. Instead, your spirit begins settling fully into the quiet realization that God is already present inside every tomorrow you keep worrying about tonight. He is already there in the future, already making a way through uncertainty, already holding together the things your anxious mind keeps trying to control. And because of that, you no longer need to carry tomorrow alone while lying here in the dark. You can rest instead, fully rest. The bed beneath you feels warm and comforting while your entire body sinks deeper into stillness. Your eyelids feel heavy now. Your thoughts drift slower and farther apart, almost dissolving into the peaceful silence surrounding you. Somewhere in the distance, the world continues sleeping beneath heaven's watchful care. And here in this sacred quietness, Jesus gently reminds your weary heart that you are deeply safe in his hands tonight. Safe enough to release the pressure. Safe enough to stop overthinking for a little while. Safe enough to sleep without fear holding your heart hostage anymore. That truth settles warmly over your spirit now, while the calm beauty of the night continues carrying you gently toward deeper and deeper rest. Now the darkness has become soft and endless around you, the kind of late-night stillness that feels almost holy in its quiet beauty. Everything inside the room rests peacefully. The air feels cool and calm, while the silence wraps around your tired body like gentle waves moving across a quiet shore. You can feel sleep drawing closer now, slowly pulling your mind farther away from the noise of the day. The thoughts that once demanded your attention no longer feel loud enough to keep you awake. They rise softly for a moment, then disappear again into the peaceful stillness surrounding you. Your soul is finally learning how to loosen its grip on fear tonight. And maybe that is what true rest really is. Not the absence of every problem, but the quiet confidence that God is holding you securely even while life remains uncertain. Jesus remains beside you in this silence, faithful and patient as always. There is something deeply calming about his presence tonight. No pressure, no disappointment, just gentle peace flowing softly through every exhausted part of your spirit. He already understands the things your heart struggles to explain. He knows how tired you became from carrying invisible battles for so long. The pressure to stay strong, the fear of losing control, the endless overthinking that steals your peace when the world finally grows quiet at night. Yet none of those struggles pushed him away from you. If anything, they drew him closer. Tonight, while the earth sleeps beneath the stars, his love quietly surrounds you like warm light in the darkness. Outside, clouds drift slowly across the sky, while distant winds move gently through sleeping trees. Somewhere beyond the horizon, dawn is still far away, but the night no longer feels lonely because peace has filled the silence where fear once lived. Your body feels completely relaxed now beneath the blankets. Your breathing remains deep and steady. Every muscle in your body continues releasing the tension it carried earlier. Even your heart feels softer somehow, calmer, as though the weight of the world has finally slipped from your shoulders for a little while. And deep inside your spirit, the quiet words of Scripture continue settling gently into place. Come to me, all who are weary. Tonight, you finally did. You came exhausted, overwhelmed, mentally tired, emotionally drained, and instead of receiving judgment, you found rest. That truth alone begins healing places inside your soul that have felt restless for far too long. The room grows even quieter now while sleep slowly wraps itself around your thoughts. The future can wait until morning. The unanswered questions can remain unanswered tonight. Right now, your heart is safe. Your mind is safe. Your life is resting securely in the hands of a loving Savior who never sleeps, never abandons you, and never stops watching over you with endless compassion. And as the peaceful silence of the night carries you gently toward deeper sleep, your soul finally settles completely into the comforting stillness of God's presence, allowing calm rest to quietly fill every remaining corner of your weary heart. The night has become so still now, so peaceful, that it almost feels like the entire world is quietly breathing alongside you. Everything around you carries a softness that did not exist earlier this evening. The room feels warmer somehow, safer. Peace has settled gently into every corner while the darkness outside remains calm beneath the endless sky. Your body feels completely relaxed now, heavy in the most comforting way, resting deeply against the bed while slow breaths move naturally through your chest. Earlier tonight, your mind held on to so many things at once. Fear about the future, pressure from the past, worries that kept circling endlessly without giving your soul any real rest. But those thoughts no longer control the atmosphere around you anymore. They no longer feel loud enough to disturb the peace surrounding this moment. Instead, They fade quietly into the distance while the calm presence of Jesus remains near beside you. There is something healing about realizing you do not have to stay mentally exhausted forever. You do not have to spend every night trapped inside your own thoughts. Sometimes the soul simply needs enough stillness to remember what safety feels like again. And tonight, little by little, your heart has been rediscovering that feeling. Outside, the final hours before dawn continue moving slowly across sleeping streets and quiet homes. The moon hangs silently above the earth while soft clouds drift through the dark sky like gentle waves. Somewhere far away, the world continues turning beneath heaven's care, but none of that pressure reaches you here tonight. Right now, nothing is demanding your strength. Nothing is asking you to solve tomorrow before sunrise. God is already holding tomorrow safely in his hands. Your responsibility tonight is simply to rest, to breathe, to allow peace to settle deeper into your tired spirit without resisting it anymore. Jesus remains patient beside you through the silence, never rushing your healing process. He understands how difficult it has been for your mind to slow down lately. He understands the hidden exhaustion that comes from carrying invisible emotional weight day after day. And still, he stays close with gentleness instead of judgment. That kind of love changes something deep inside a weary heart. It softens fear. It quiets pressure. It reminds the soul that even during uncertain seasons, you are never abandoned. Your eyelids feel heavier now while your thoughts continue fading into calmness. The soft darkness around the room feels peaceful rather than lonely. Even the silence itself has become comforting now, wrapping gently around you while sleep slowly draws closer. And somewhere deep inside your chest, a quiet realization continues growing stronger tonight. You were never meant to carry life all by yourself. God has always been near, even during the nights when anxiety made his presence difficult to feel. And now, while your tired soul rests safely beneath his peace, the heavy burden you carried into this night finally begins slipping completely from your hands. You no longer need to hold on to every fear so tightly. You no longer need to prepare for every possible outcome before morning arrives. The pressure is leaving your body now, slowly, gently, like tension melting away beneath warm light. And as your breathing grows softer and deeper, your heart quietly begins accepting something beautiful tonight. Maybe rest was never something you had to earn. Maybe peace was always meant to be received. Your mind feels distant from stress now, almost as though the worries that once felt overwhelming belong to another moment far away from this peaceful night. The silence around you continues deepening softly, while the atmosphere in the room grows warmer and calmer with every passing minute. Sleep moves gently around the edges of your thoughts now, patient and quiet, slowly carrying your exhausted spirit toward complete rest. The tension that lived in your body earlier has almost completely disappeared. Your shoulders feel loose. Your breathing remains steady and slow. Even your heartbeat seems softer now, no longer racing beneath the pressure of fear and overthinking. Instead, your entire being feels held inside a deep stillness that words can barely describe. Maybe this is what your soul has truly needed for such a long time. Not more answers, not more control, just peace. Simple peace. The kind that arrives quietly when you finally stop fighting every battle alone. Jesus has been gently leading your heart toward this calmness all night long. He never forced it, never rushed it. He simply stayed beside you while your thoughts gradually slowed down enough to hear his peace again. That's how his love often works. Quietly, patiently, like soft light entering a dark room before dawn arrives. Outside, the earth rests peacefully beneath the midnight sky, while distant winds move softly through sleeping trees somewhere beyond the windows. The world feels far away now. Its noise can no longer reach this quiet moment between your soul and God. And maybe that's why your spirit feels lighter now than it did before. Because for the first time in a while, you are no longer carrying tomorrow on your shoulders tonight. You are simply here, resting, breathing, existing safely within the calm presence of heaven. The old fears still exist somewhere in the background of life, but they no longer have power over this moment. They no longer define the atmosphere inside your heart. Peace does, grace does, God's presence does, and that changes everything. The Psalms continue echoing softly through your spirit like gentle whispers in the darkness. He gives his beloved sleep. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted. Do not be afraid. Those words settle deeply into places inside you that have been tired for far too long. Tonight, your soul finally believes them again. Not perfectly, not completely without struggle, but enough to rest, enough to let go for a few hours, enough to trust that God will continue carrying what you no longer have strength to hold alone. Your body sinks deeper into comfort now, while the peaceful silence around you grows softer and heavier like warm blankets surrounding your spirit. Sleep is very close now. Your thoughts drift slower and farther apart with every passing moment. And while darkness quietly covers the sleeping earth outside, Jesus continues watching over you with steady love, allowing every anxious part of your heart to finally become still beneath the safety of his presence. The fear that once filled your chest has become quiet now. The pressure that once followed your thoughts has lost its grip. And as the peaceful night continues carrying you gently toward rest, your soul finally understands something it has needed to hear for a very long time. You are safe here tonight. The deeper this night becomes, the more peaceful your soul feels beneath the quiet care of God. Everything inside you is slowed now. The racing thoughts, the emotional pressure, the constant need to mentally prepare for things beyond your control. It all feels distant compared to the calmness surrounding you in this moment. The room remains wrapped in soft darkness, while cool midnight air rests gently against the windows. Somewhere outside, the world sleeps peacefully beneath the stars, unaware of the quiet healing taking place inside your tired heart tonight. Your breathing continues flowing slowly and naturally, while sleep gently pulls you closer toward complete rest. It feels good to finally stop carrying so much for a while. Good to release the invisible tension your soul held onto for days, maybe even months. Sometimes people become so familiar with stress that they forget peace is even possible. They grow used to heavy thoughts, restless nights, anxious mornings. But tonight, your heart is remembering something important. Peace was never as far away as fear made it seem. God remained close through every difficult moment, even when your mind convinced you otherwise. He stayed near during every lonely night, every silent breakdown, every exhausting season where you smiled outwardly while struggling quietly inside. And now, as the hours drift slowly toward morning, his presence surrounds you more clearly than the worries that once filled your mind. Jesus sits beside your exhaustion with endless gentleness tonight. He is not frustrated by your weakness. He is not disappointed because you became overwhelmed. He understands the weight you carried. He understands the fears you never fully explained to anyone else. And still, He loves you with unwavering compassion through every anxious thought and every restless night. That kind of love changes the atmosphere inside a person. It softens the heart. It quiets fear. It creates room for healing to finally begin. Outside, clouds continue drifting silently across the sleeping sky, while distant moonlight touches rooftops and quiet roads below. Everything feels calm now, safe, almost sacred in its stillness. And inside this peaceful room, your tired body continues sinking deeper into rest while the final tension slowly leaves your chest completely. Your thoughts feel soft and dreamlike now, no longer sharp enough to keep you awake. Even the future feels quieter tonight, not because every uncertainty disappeared, but because your soul finally understands it does not have to face tomorrow alone. God will already be there when morning comes. He will still be faithful then, just as he is faithful now in the middle of this silent night. That truth settles warmly over your spirit while your eyelids grow heavier and heavier. The world outside fades farther into darkness, while sleep wraps gently around your weary mind. And before your thoughts fully drift away into peaceful dreams, your heart quietly rests in one final feeling tonight: trust, gentle trust, the kind that only grows when a weary soul finally learns it is safe to surrender its fears into the hands of God. You no longer need to fight for peace anymore. Peace is already here, resting softly around you, holding your spirit carefully through the quiet beauty of this night. Now the night feels completely peaceful, almost untouched by time itself. The silence surrounding you has become soft and comforting, no longer empty or lonely the way it may have felt earlier. Instead, it feels like shelter, a quiet resting place beneath the calm watch of heaven while the world sleeps safely outside. Your body feels deeply relaxed now, warm beneath the blankets while your breathing continues slow and effortless through the darkness. Sleep is close now, very close. You can feel it gently pulling your thoughts farther away from stress and deeper into stillness with every passing breath. Jesus remains near beside you through the silence, faithful as always, watching over your tired spirit with patient love that never fades. Tonight, he has carried your heart carefully through every anxious thought, every hidden fear, every heavy emotion you brought into this darkness. And now, after all the overthinking has finally quieted down, peace rests fully where fear once lived. The worries that felt overwhelming earlier tonight no longer seem powerful enough to disturb your soul. They have faded into the distance like storms disappearing far beyond the horizon. All that remains here now is calmness. Deep calmness settling through your chest while the quiet beauty of this night surrounds you completely. Outside, the final moments before dawn slowly move across the earth. Somewhere, the sky has already begun changing softly beyond the darkness, preparing for morning light to eventually rise. But there is still time before then, time for your soul to fully rest, time for your weary mind to completely let go, time for your body to sink deeply into peaceful sleep beneath the gentle care of God. Your thoughts drift slowly now, softer than whispers, floating farther apart until silence becomes more comforting than thinking itself. Every muscle in your body feels loose and heavy with rest. The emotional exhaustion you carried for so long no longer controls you tonight. Instead, relief fills the space where pressure once lived. Quiet relief, healing relief, the kind that reaches deep into the soul after a long season of carrying too much alone. Jesus has remained beside you through every part of this night, never once leaving your side while your spirit slowly learned how to become still again. And even now, as sleep gently carries you toward dreams, his peace continues surrounding you like calm waters beneath moonlight. You are safe tonight, safe from fear, safe from the noise of overthinking, safe from the pressure to have every answer before tomorrow begins. The future remains in God's hands, and because of that, your soul can finally rest completely here in the quietness of this moment. The night continues holding you gently, while sleep softly washes over your weary mind at last, carrying you deeper and deeper into peaceful rest beneath the endless comfort of heaven's faithful love. The night has become beautifully quiet now, the kind of quiet that feels deeper than sound itself. Everything around you rests peacefully beneath the final hours before dawn while your body remains completely relaxed in the warmth of this still moment. The darkness in the room no longer feels heavy. It feels comforting now, soft and gentle, like a calm shelter wrapped carefully around your weary spirit. Your breathing moves slowly and naturally, while sleep continues carrying you farther away from stress and deeper into rest. Earlier tonight, your thoughts were crowded with worries that felt impossible to silence. The future felt uncertain. Your heart felt tired from carrying too much for too long. But now, somewhere along this peaceful journey through the night, something inside you changed. The pressure slowly faded. Fear gradually loosened its grip, and little by little, peace found its way back into places inside your soul that had been restless for such a long time. Jesus remained beside you through every moment of it, quietly, patiently, lovingly, never rushing you, never demanding perfection from you before allowing you to rest in his presence. That is the beauty of his peace. It meets people exactly where they are, in the middle of exhaustion, in the middle of uncertainty, in the middle of nights where the mind refuses to slow down. And somehow, his love gently calms what anxiety could never fully control. Outside, the earth remains wrapped in darkness beneath the fading stars while cool winds move softly through sleeping trees somewhere far beyond the windows. The world feels distant now. Its noise cannot reach this peaceful room anymore. The things that once demanded your attention no longer feel urgent tonight. Tomorrow can wait until morning. The unanswered questions can remain unanswered for now. God is already holding every unknown part of your future safely in his hands while you rest here beneath his care. Your soul no longer feels the need to fight for peace anymore. It simply receives it now, slowly and quietly, like moonlight resting across calm water. Every breath softens your body further into stillness. Every passing moment carries you deeper into comfort. Your thoughts drift gently through the darkness without fear attached to them anymore. And before sleep fully takes hold of your mind, one final truth settles deeply into your heart tonight. You are not alone in this life. You never truly were. Even during the nights when anxiety felt overwhelming, even during the seasons where your faith felt weak, Jesus stayed beside you with unwavering love. And he will continue staying beside you tomorrow, and the day after that, and every quiet night still waiting somewhere ahead of you. The peace surrounding you right now is real. The calmness filling your chest is real. And as your weary spirit slowly surrenders fully into rest tonight, your soul quietly realizes something beautiful. Healing does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes healing sounds like silence. Sometimes healing feels like breathing slowly in the middle of the night, while God gently reminds your heart that you are finally safe enough to rest. The room feels incredibly peaceful now, almost sacred in its stillness. The kind of peace tired hearts search for without even realizing it. Everything has slowed completely around you. Your breathing remains deep and calm while your body rests heavily beneath the blankets, fully surrendered to the comfort surrounding you tonight. There is no tension left inside your chest now. No pressure forcing your thoughts to keep running. The endless cycle of overthinking has finally grown quiet beneath the gentle presence of God. And maybe this is what your soul needed more than anything else. Not another solution, not another distraction, just a moment where you could finally stop carrying everything alone. Jesus has been faithfully walking beside your heart through every part of this night, calming your fears one gentle breath at a time. He understands how exhausting it feels to constantly worry about the future. He understands the hidden emotional weight people carry while pretending to be okay during the day. He sees the silent battles no one else notices, the loneliness, the uncertainty, the moments where you feel mentally exhausted from trying to stay strong for too long. And even with all of that, his love never becomes smaller toward you. If anything, his compassion grows even closer to weary hearts exactly like yours. Outside, the darkness slowly begins preparing for dawn somewhere beyond the horizon, though the world still rests peacefully beneath the final quiet moments of night. The stars continue fading gently above sleeping cities and empty roads while cool air moves softly across the earth. Everything feels calm. Everything feels held together by a peace far greater than human understanding. And here in this room, your tired spirit rests safely within that peace now. The fears that once felt loud have become distant whispers fading into silence. Your mind no longer races through endless possibilities. Instead, it rests quietly in the comforting truth that God already stands inside tomorrow waiting for you there. You do not need to control every outcome tonight. You do not need every answer before allowing yourself to rest. Grace is already carrying what your heart became too tired to hold. Your eyelids feel heavier now. Sleep wraps gently around your thoughts while your soul drifts farther into stillness. The calmness surrounding you feels deep and complete, touching every exhausted place inside you that has needed healing for such a long time. And while the final darkness before morning quietly settles across the world outside, your heart continues resting safely within the loving presence of Jesus, allowing peace to carry you fully into deep and uninterrupted sleep. No fear has permission to follow you into this rest tonight. No anxiety has permission to steal this peace from you anymore. Heaven is watching over you now. Heaven is holding you now. And in this quiet, sacred moment, your soul finally feels free to stop fighting and simply rest. Now the night feels almost dreamlike in its beauty. The silence surrounding you has become soft and comforting, wrapping carefully around your tired spirit while the final hours before dawn pass quietly across the sleeping earth. Your body feels completely relaxed now, every muscle loose, every breath slow and steady. Sleep moves gently through your mind like calm waves across still water, while the stress you carried earlier tonight continues fading farther away into the darkness. There is nothing left for you to hold on to right now except peace. Pure peace settling deeply into your soul while Jesus remains close beside you through the quietness. He has been here the entire night, through every restless thought, every hidden fear, every silent ache inside your heart. And even now, as your mind slowly drifts closer toward sleep, His presence continues surrounding you with the kind of comfort words can barely explain. It feels safe here. Safe to let go. Safe to stop overthinking. Safe to finally rest without carrying tomorrow on your shoulders. Outside, somewhere beyond the windows, the first faint signs of morning are beginning to prepare themselves quietly in the distance. The sky remains dark for now, but dawn is slowly approaching beyond the horizon. And maybe that feels meaningful somehow, because life often works that way too. Sometimes the longest nights feel endless while you are inside them. Sometimes fear convinces you peace will never return. But eventually, even the darkest hours begin making room for light again. God never abandons people in the middle of their night seasons. He stays close until peace slowly returns to the heart once more. Tonight, He stayed close to yours. Your thoughts feel softer than ever now, drifting slowly between silence and dreams. The emotional exhaustion you carried into this night has finally loosened completely from your chest. Relief fills the empty space where anxiety once lived. Gentle relief, healing relief, the kind that reaches the soul after finally surrendering its fears into hands far stronger than its own. Jesus has carried you carefully through this entire night, and He will continue carrying you through tomorrow too. You are not forgotten, not overlooked, not alone in your struggles. Heaven still watches over your life with endless love and compassion. Even during the moments where your faith feels tired and your mind feels overwhelmed. Your body sinks deeper into comfort now while sleep gently wraps itself fully around your spirit. The room remains beautifully still except for the soft rhythm of your breathing and the peaceful silence of the sleeping world outside. And as your weary heart drifts fully into rest beneath the faithful care of God tonight, one final feeling settles quietly over your soul: hope. Quiet hope that tomorrow does not have to be feared because you will never walk into it alone. Tomorrow will arrive slowly, gently, one breath at a time. And when it does, the same God who carried you through this peaceful night will still be walking beside you then. And now, as this peaceful night slowly carries you into deeper sleep, allow yourself to rest completely in the comfort surrounding you. Let every final thought grow quiet. Let every remaining worry drift softly into God's hands where it no longer needs to burden your heart tonight. The world outside can wait until morning. Right now, your soul deserves this peace. Your mind deserves this stillness. Your heart deserves this gentle reminder that even after the hardest days, even after the longest nights of overthinking and emotional exhaustion, God still remains close enough to calm every storm within you. The room around you feels warm and safe now, while the final silence before dawn stretches peacefully across the earth. Somewhere far away, morning light is slowly preparing to rise. But here, in this quiet moment, nothing matters more than the calmness settling fully into your spirit. Jesus remains beside you through every slow breath, watching over you with endless patience and love while sleep carries you deeper into rest. You made it through today, and tonight, that is enough. The pressure can finally leave your shoulders. The fear can finally grow quiet. Tomorrow will arrive one step at a time, and when it does, God will already be there walking beside you just as faithfully as He walked beside you through this night. Your thoughts continue fading gently now, softer and softer until peace becomes the only thing your heart can feel. The darkness no longer feels lonely. It feels peaceful, sacred even, like heaven itself quietly standing watch while your weary soul finally rests. And before sleep fully carries you away tonight, I just want to remind you of something very simple. You are deeply loved, even in your most exhausted moments. You are cared for more than your anxious mind sometimes allows you to believe. And no matter how heavy life becomes, you never have to carry it all alone. So rest now. Truly rest. Let the calm presence of God hold every burden you cannot hold anymore. Let His peace guard your heart while your body sinks deeper into sleep beneath the quiet beauty of this night. And hey, if this peaceful time helped calm your heart tonight, make sure you stay connected to this space. You can gently subscribe and come back whenever life feels heavy, whenever your thoughts become loud, or whenever your soul simply needs a quiet place to rest again. There will always be another peaceful night waiting for you here. Another reminder that you are never alone and never forgotten by God. Sleep peacefully tonight, and may the love of Jesus remain close to your heart until morning comes.